loving him and other people like that before conversion too. Like now everybody wants to be buddy with Kanye and like, oh, Kanye, you know, and that, I don't know why, but it bothers me.
Yeah, I can understand that. I really agree with that, actually. I'm glad you brought that up because as I said, people all want to have them at their church and they want to have them do this and that.
Which is great.
Which is cool. But what about if he does mess up? Are we going to then be like, no, you can't come anymore?
Right, exactly. Or what if he takes like different stances politically?
Right. Like we can still love him regardless of how he feels politically. Right. Like there may be things that he is for that we're not, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, we can still love him as a human.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this before, like loving each other regardless, meeting people where they're at. Maybe he's just figuring this all out.
I think that's what it is. He's just figuring it all out. He's almost like a new Christian.
Right. He's on the fire side.
Yes.
Like he's on the pumped up side. It's just he just went to a retreat.
Yes.
It's like when you go to a retreat or you go to like a youth camp and you're like, oh my gosh, God is moving. It is great. And you're like all pumped up and you're just got to tell everybody about it and tell everyone about your experience and you're on a spiritual high and all this and that. And then all of a sudden you just come back to reality. You're like, okay, well, I still love God, but I'm talking about a little different.
Well, it reminds me of Mel Gibson and when he made that Passion movie and just how that exploded. And then kind of everybody was elevating Mel Gibson at that point. And then he just totally crashed and burned.
Yes.
And the stuff that happened with his girlfriend and him abusing his girlfriend.
Right.
People were talking about how he, I forget what it is when you actually hurt yourself because you're trying to repent.
Yes. What is the word?
I forget.
I'll have to look it up. But
self-masticate or something. I forget what it is. But
it's okay.
And I was like, oh man, I'm bracing myself for that moment with Kanye where we're like, yes, and elevating him and like, we love you. You agree with us and you've accepted Christ and praise the Lord. And then when he crashes and burns, like, how are we going to respond to that?
And where will we be to show God's love at that point?
Yeah. And how should we be when anybody falls?
Right.
And I feel that a lot of the churches, when we stumble or we doubt God or we're like, is this real? Then we just get shut out.
Yeah. And I think that is a major fault that we have.
Yeah,
and that's why I always say when I'm on here that, you know, God doesn't love you less. No matter what you go through, if you turn your back on him or you make mistakes or choices, like he still loves you just the same. And we are called to love people and we are called to meet people where they are and to sit with them and to just be Jesus to them. No judgment included, to just be there.
Yeah, I feel like some of my Facebook friends, quote unquote, have kind of pulled away from me just because of some of the things I posted, like Tristan sitting on Santa's lap. Or
that's so cute.
Isn't it cute?
Yes.
Or like going out for Halloween and like, oh, she celebrates Halloween. Oh, she celebrates Santa.
Again, do I have to say it though?
Yeah.
Judgment, my most hated thing. Judgment. Yeah. It's okay for it to not be your thing, but you don't need to judge me.
Yeah.
Like I respect you for not wanting to participate in Halloween, or I respect you for not wanting to have Santa. That's cool. That's your choice.
Totally
but
respect that, right?
In our house, we trick or treat.
Yeah.
And in our house, we have Santa and we have the elf on the shelf.
That's so fun.
And we do, an elf comes on Christmas Eve and knocks on my parents' door and leaves outside a couple gifts for the kids.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we do that. There's magic there.
Yeah.
They don't for 1 second forget that it's Jesus' birthday or that God died for us and that he sent his son. Like, that doesn't get washed away just because we talk about Santa. Mm-hmm. So stop judging, y'all.
I know. And having your kids sit on Santa's lap is the cutest thing.
It's so cute. Like, my kids could never do it because everyone's petrified.
Did Harper ever sit on Santa's lap?
She sat on his lap. I think there's one solid picture of her. And then she said she wanted to see him. So we took him to see him, but then she didn't want to go. She just saw him and was cool with it. And with Lily before, Lily wanted to see Santa, so I was like, okay, I'm surprised, but let's do it.
Wow.
We get to the mall, and we're on the top floor, and she goes, okay, I saw him, let's go.
Get out of here.
That's all she needed. That's all she needed.
How old was she?
She was little. I want to say she was like 7 when that happened. I mean, I never pushed it with my kids.
Yeah,
if my kids want to get a picture with Santa, great. If they don't, I also don't care.
Yeah.
I want them to be comfortable.
Right.
But I just always think it's funny. Okay, I'm good. Let's go. There she was. See ya.
That's so funny.
Okay, Santa, I can see you from far away, and I'm happy with that. That's all.
That's great.
I was like, okay, Lily, let's go.
And eventually the kids, like, they grow out of it.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh my gosh, Santa Claus, and I'm
Right.
going to worship him as God now.
You know? My parents have a little statue in their Christmas decorations, and it is the manger, Jesus in the manger, and it's Santa on his knees, praying with his eyes closed at the manger. And I always think about how powerful that little tiny eeny weeny decoration is, because it's not about Santa, it's about Jesus, but the magic of Santa still is there, and it makes it fun for Christmas. But
it makes it fun, right?
But all in all, we know what it's about.
Yeah.
And our kids do too.
Yeah, and Tristan talks about Jesus and how Jesus is in his heart, and
yes.
he's not talking about Santa, and we don't talk about Santa in our house during Christmas, but what is Santa going to bring you?
Yeah,
and
like
my parents
normal
do
conversation.
That,
Us
my
too.
family does
yeah,
that.
It's casual.
Santa comes for Christmas Eve,
right?
And it's so exciting for them, and they each get a gift, and it's just a good time.
It's fun.
I love the holidays.
That's the magic of the holidays.
Yes, it totally is. There's something about it that I wish we could keep on all year round.
Yes, I agree.
Anyway, we were talking about being worship leaders.
Yes.
And how, sometimes you can have a special dynamic with a band or singers, and sometimes you just don't. And we were talking about how we feel in just a few short months, we have developed like this. I'm just going to say ESPN.
Oh my gosh. I was just going to say, I swear, I was going to say music ESP. And right before I said it, you said that. That's funny.
That's awesome. See?
Yeah.
It's already there.
Yes.
That's so
it.
funny. Mm-hmm. But how we have really just developed a feeling when we're singing or leading a song, like what each other is thinking as far as how to lead it or the dynamics of it. Let's soften here or let's get stronger. And we don't even have to tell each other that. I don't have to look at you. And it's so funny because I was thinking about that the last few weeks. I'm like, wow, it's really cool that she did that certain scale or whatever and got softer here, and I didn't have to tell her. And that's something I didn't tell you personally. And then you come in today and you're like, yeah, I really like the way we kind of fill each other out as we're leading worship. And it's really cool that we have that dynamic and we haven't known each other that long.
It is really cool.
Yeah, it's a God gift.
I have to say, like, for people who don't lead worship or in a band or anything like that, you obviously can't look at someone and tell them what you want to do. Like, you just can't. And so sometimes in a band dynamic where you have people in and out all the time, it is hard for the band to read you. So sometimes you talk to them about like what signals you'll use, or like if I say this or if I do this, you'll know that I want to wrap it around. Right. But vocally, to be able to echo or know what each other needs, there's no good way to explain that to you. It's just, I just know. Yeah. I just know it. Yeah, it's like a spiritual connection thing. And the more you play with each other and more that you sing with each other, the more that gets developed. So I think that's really cool. And I think at our church, we've kind of been playing with the same people for a while now. And that's been good. We've been developing some really good synergy and tightness, which is something that we haven't had in a while. Yeah, so that's a big really goal. Cool. I would like to see happen. A little more gelling. Gelling, yes. A little less playing in your own corner. Yes. Yeah, those things are so important. Because you're a team. You're not just playing the guitar, playing the drums for yourself. You're adding to the whole group. Yeah. And I think especially with Dez and I are trying to find time to go on a writing retreat weekend, because we want to be able to go away and really only focus on writing, and to have a band that supports the songs that you've written so that you can communicate with them and help them understand what you're looking for in a song. Like, you need that to be gelled. You need to be able to have that reliability on your band, and it's like a trust, because you're giving them like your little baby song, and you're like, this is what I've written and we're bringing it to you, and we need you to help bring it to life. And if you have that type of communication with your group, it will flourish. It's like having bringing songs to a producer. That's always scary, because the song can go many different ways. Yes.
And I've been working with a new producer, and he's just done a fantastic job. So it's like that. You're bringing a child to these people.
It's your music baby.
Yes, and hopefully they take care of that baby, and that baby grows and becomes something beautiful.
Because I had written, or God gave me some songs, some parts of songs, and I said to Dez, like, oh, I have a couple things, but I like didn't know if I should share them with her, and so I didn't. And I had them like sitting for a while, and then I said, I have this chorus that I really think would be something, and I sang it for her, and she's like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, it was really
but
good.
It's scary to throw it out there. I just feel like because we have that worship soulmate connection thing, it's easier for us to be able to bring things to the table and kind of help each other fill it out and figure out what the song needs to be and where it needs to go. So
we have the same mind, same heart when it comes to worship.
We do. So pray for us that we would find time and a place to go for a weekend to be able to shut off and focus strictly on writing, because it's very important to us, and we know that that's what God wants us to do next.
And if you have a place in mind,
yes,
we're thinking the Poconos, but it can really be anywhere that's mildly secluded. Hopefully there's a Starbucks nearby, please.
We need a coffee house nearby and Wi-Fi.
Yes.
And we just need a place that we can go for a weekend and just focus on that.
Yeah.
So let us know.
It's been a long time coming.
It really has
we really
been.
Need it, because we keep talking about it, but life gets crazy,
it really
and things
does.
get in the way. So, but in the coming weeks, we're going to be talking about, Thanksgiving is coming. We'll talk about our traditions
and our favorite foods.
Yeah, we'll think of something special to do for that podcast.
Yes, we will.
Oh my gosh, that's like not next week,
but
2
the
weeks.
week after is the day after. 2 days after Thanksgiving. So we should do it next week.
We got to do it next week.
So next week will be our Thanksgiving podcast. And we will talk to you about all the things that Des just said and more. And more.
And then we're going to be doing a special Christmas podcast. We're actually going to be singing some songs.
Yes.
It'll be a good time. So thanks for listening. And you can follow.
Before you cut us off, I just have to tell you a funny story, because I think it'll be good.
Yes.
My sister I'm sorry. Get rid of that part. My sister texted me. She said, I have to tell you a story. And I hadn't heard from her in a while. I'm like, okay, this could be anything. She goes, this is unrelated to anything we've said today. It's just for fun. She said, my friend Christina is a manager at a bank. I was like, this is a weird way to start a combo, but okay. Today, someone sent a hamster through the tube at the bank. Through the tube.
What? Why?
So she said, wait. So she's telling me the story. I can't even answer anything. So I'm like waiting for more. So she said, while the hamster comes through the tube, the guy who sent the hamster comes into the bank and gives them a check that he wants to cash, but it is not his name. So while he's there, they call the cops. He gets charged with animal abuse.
Wow.
And in the end, the security guard of the bank adopted the hamster.
Wow. What in the world?
Is that not crazy? And she also said that, so the guy, you can obviously,
I'm so confused
just
right
so
now.
the world knows, like there are videos at those things where you put your money in and you send it in the tube. Like
That's
they
what I
can
do all
see
the
you.
time.
Like they can see you. It's not a secret.
No, it's not.
But this guy sends the hamster and then goes into the bank and he acts like he had nothing to do with the hamster. Like nothing. And tries to get this check signed. How crazy. She opened the tube and a hamster was in there. Like...
Was he trying to create like a
diversion?
A diversion.
Yes,
derision,
a diversion. I have a lot of questions for this guy. Number one, did he already own the hamster or did he buy the hamster for this exact reason? That's my first question.
Yeah.
My second question is, was it because of a diversion or is it because he's like a little bit psychopath?
It sounds like he's all of the above.
But my third and final is that I'm so grateful that hamster, because I'm sure was petrified, because animals do not go inside that thing. It goes at like warp speed and has, I'm sure, like weird vacuum seal to shoot it through the tube. The poor little animal.
Oh, the poor thing.
But he's adopted into a home now, so he's safe and no longer with the
PTSD,
psychopath.
Though he's going to need some therapy.
That's what I not hamster therapy. They're like talking to him like, are you okay? And he's like, I can't go in my ball anymore. I have a fear.
And he probably like,
is that
peed
not
and
the
pooped
craziest? Is that not crazy though?
That's terrible.
Can you imagine being her and just opening the thing and there's a hamster in